Department of Education truth. Trump can't win. Let me explain how they're telling you he's erasing education when he's not. How he's taking out education when they're not. Let me explain what's been happening over the last 8.5 weeks. Listen and follow me through this. Here we go. First of all, yes, he said he wanted to get rid of the Department of Education, but he knew he couldn't do it up front because you had to change parts of the Constitution. It would take a majority vote in Congress that he doesn't have. So he's trying to gut in the Department of Education. Here's where he loses 100%. Out of 38 rulings, whether it was just straight direct ruling without a case, or early in the case, in the middle of the case, or at the end of the case, a court case, he has lost almost all of them. We basically he has won in 37. The only one he had the right to was to make a buyout offer to Fed workers. We don't care about that. Whatever. The point I'm getting to is that the judicial branch, along with all of the AGs from Democratic states, 22 states, almost half the union, as well as their governors, and the ACLU, and Indivisible, and MoveOn.org, understand, mobilize, whole bunch of organizations have been fighting left and right through the courts with this guy and winning 95%+ of the time. Do you think for 1 second that they're not going to fight back through the judicial branch judges and the people suing that I just mentioned to fight for education? And here's the thing I want you to understand, because they're lying to you, telling you, oh, everything's hopeless, oh, whatever. Here's what I'm trying to tell you right now. This is facts. This ain't a bunch of think good thoughts and somehow make it. No. Listen to what I'm saying to you. What has happened is that these entities, along with our third branch of government, the judicial branch, which ain't the legislative branch, which is weak, and certainly not the executive branch trying to do us in, this branch of government has been standing up for the Constitution, for our rights, and for our stuff. And let me give you some examples of that. They reversed tens of thousands of jobs from the CIA, FBI, Inspector Generals, the IRS, the Department of Education, the Department of Defense, what's the other one? The Department of Agriculture. You have Homeland Security. I mean, just a whole bunch of places. Tens of thousands of jobs returned. They just did a ruling, said, hey, you got to reverse everything you did with USAID, and you see everything they did. They got 98%. They said, nope, bring it back. They took it to the Supreme Court, where a bunch of nonprofits sued because they couldn't get their USAID funding, and lives were at stake. And you know what happened? They kicked it to the lower courts. They said the lower courts' rulings were right. We winning. But here's the thing I want you to understand with the Department of Education, they're not saying to you, which is, this is going to go into court. This is going to have Fed judges rule in on this, and everything that he's doing is going to get turned around because you're confusing execution with effectiveness. Execution is what he's been doing for 8.5 weeks. Effectiveness is what the federal judges have been doing for the last 8.5 weeks. I'm going to cut this off. No, you're not. Bring it back. I'm going to do this. Bring it back. And for those of you who want to say, well, there's a constitutional crisis and Bundy is not, and Pam Bundy is not going to do this, that, and the other. I've said this repeatedly, and I will say it again and again. Pam Bondi. And understand this. She does not have the right or the rule over U.S. Marshals and other feds. Federal judge has just as much power. Remember, we're a decentralized government. Now more than ever, you need to remember that. We're 3 branches, and the only branches, like I said, has been holding us up, has been judicial branch. And here's what they can do. They can send marshals. They can send feds. Now, you might say, well, they lose their jobs. Yeah, but they'll get them back, just like I told you everybody else's job coming back. But what if they stand with Trump? Oh, man, 2 things happen. One, they get fired. Well, three. One, they get fired. Two, they lose their freedom, go to jail. And three, they lose any licensing they have as whether it be law enforcement or attorneys. Trump has caused attorneys to lose their license. Giuliani. Trump has caused attorneys to go to jail, man. Seriously. Not Giuliani, but the other, go to jail. They are not playing. The judicial branch I ain't saying they're all powerful. Nobody is. Checks and balances. But understand this. There will be kickback. Do not flip out over the Department of Education. Don't confuse execution with effectiveness. Did I earn your subscription? Your follow? Hopefully so. Stay cool. Stay focused. And we're going to win. Because we are winning.